Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WarDawg Trail podcast. This is episode 134. I'm your host, Sergeant WarDawg, and I am about to bring on an Iraq veteran that you have never heard from before. But before I bring him on the stage, let's go over a few announcements, all right? Okay, you can catch me every Saturday night live from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on DV Radio. That's Dysfunctional Veterans Radio at dvradio.net. Uh, join, tap in, talk as openly as we did back in the barracks with a host from each branch. So tune in every Saturday night and salute. Okay. Remember, you can buy a copy of my book, The WarDawg Trail, A Marine Rifleman's Struggle with War and PTSD, on Apple Books, Audible, and Amazon. And finally, the book actually won an award from bookauthority.org. It won one of the best Iraq war books of all time. So as I said before, please tap in, tune in, check out my three tours in Iraq as a Marine rifleman, as a grunt, and just hear my tale. Salute. All right. Without further ado, I bring to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Mr. J. L. Weitzman, also known, especially on Instagram, as the real Slim J. Dizzle. Welcome to the show, boss.
You, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, all right. If you don't mind, let's start off as I do with each guest. Man, walk us through where you're from, and then why you chose the army compared to the other
Yes,
branches.
roger that. So I'm from Fairfax, Virginia. Um, and so my father and my father's father has a military history. And I felt that the best way to honor them was to follow in their footsteps because even though my father only did a couple of years, he had 100,000 war stories. So I wanted to do my grandfather and my father some some due praise, and I in turn joined the military.
All right, all right. Now, as I was saying, once you progressed to the age or the time period in your life where you decided the military was the direction you wanted to go, what made you decide to choose the army?
You know that is a
I'm
good
sorry. I'm sorry.
question. I
Besides everything you just told us, obviously in relation to your father and your family
No,
members.
that's absolutely a fair question. I never really gave it any real thought. Like I just I didn't find out until later in my military career that my father, his or my grandfather was in the Navy. And then I was like, well, darn, I thought it was, a family history of going through the army
The
or
army.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, and my dad just had all these amazing stories. And I was like, well, nobody in my family was like in the Marines or anything. So, and the only other person I had heard from was, excuse me, my aunt who was in the Coast Guard. And I was like, no, I'm good on all that. No offense to the Coast Guard or anything. Um, I kind of wish I had gone to the Navy, but yeah, I mean, the Army just, my father was in the Army. It just felt like the right thing to do. You know what I mean? It felt appropriate,
Gotcha. That's usually what it comes
kind of
down
like
to.
Yeah, like I kind of I appreciate you, and I'm gonna pay homage to you by following in your footsteps in the service.
I don't. I don't. Now, after you decided it was the military, then you decided it was the army. What got you to choose your particular job or MOS? And I'm sorry, I don't. I haven't asked you. Do you mind letting the world know also?
I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So what?
that's that is one other person knows the truth. So I took the ASVAB, and my score wasn't the greatest, but I had options. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had talked my younger brother into joining the service with me, and I was under the impression that we were going to, if not go through like basic and AIT, that we could at least be together at like permanent duty. I figured, we needed each other. We have a little bit of distance in our age. Like I'm 5, 6 years older, but I wanted us to be close. So he ended up picking like Hawaii, uh, and so he chose food service because I believe at the time, this was in the late '90s, they had the largest bonus that you could get. So he was kind of chasing the money, and I was kind of chasing him. So I chose the same job, food service, but I chose it at NTC, and he got Hawaii. So complete opposites.
Well, let us know where's MCT located
In,
compared to him
it,
in Hawaii.
so that's National Training Center in California, Southern California, between Las Vegas and LA. It's like it's
At
it's
Big
in the
Desert
desert.
Strip. Yeah,
Dude, I'm
that's where I
telling
was
you,
stationed,
there.
bro.
Yeah, so like, where were you at in
I
California?
was in 29 Palms, man, the fucking worst
So,
desert space, 900 square miles. Oh, and I'm from
so so
Florida, so to go to the desert, oof.
so so the guy, the guy at MEPS, and I think they do this to get at you. The guy was like, we have Fort Ord in California, because I was adamant on going to California. He said we have
Hell
Ord and
yeah.
we have NTC. Now, again, you have to remember this is the early '90s. Things were a little bit different, and I was like, well, Fort Ord sounds amazing. It's by these really cool things. And the guy looks at me and he goes, no, man, you really want to be up for? And I said, oh, word, is that right? And he said, that is correct, sir. So I chose NTC, National Training Center, not too different than 29 Palms. It's saddening. It's barren. It's desert. If I had known, it would have. I would have rather have gone airborne in Alaska in winter than ever go back to that place, dude. And if you've been to 29 Palms, you know. Just imagine having a family but living at 29 Palms. That is NTC.
Mm-mm. That's hard.
Some some
That's
genius in the
hard.
military. Yeah, some geniuses in the military was like, you see this place? This is the spot. And if we could meet them now, we would beat them to death. Be like, yeah, it's the spot, all right, where I'm going to bury your body for putting me in the desert.
Damn.
Tell me,
Oh,
look, tell
bro.
me those aren't the worst place. Isolated posts with a family, it's the worst place to be, especially if you're desert warfare. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
gone. Your wife is
yeah.
at the NCO club or the officers club. We all know what happens in those spots.
Mm, mm. Yeah, man, you spoke on a lot of truth right there, bro. You spoke on a
It's
whole lot of damn truth.
that's why I
All
always
right.
said that places. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, keep going, man. It's your time.
Places like that are made for E3 or E4 and above, including like 29 Palms and those isolated. Those places are should be limited to like I think E4 and above, people that know better, you know? At that point, if you're doing some banana sandwich stuff, you already know better, man. Privates, E2s, they don't know better. They fall prey. You know what I mean? They fall prey.
Let me get your perspective real quick, right? Because you remember, you know which major cities we were in between, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How how far would you tell would you give the average person an idea of how far did you have to go to find a girlfriend from the desert? How far did you have to go to find a bona fide, qualified, certified
So
girl?
you know that is so funny, dude, because I joined the military in the 90s, and then I always had this dream of going to California. So look, California is a relatively liberal state. So in those days, military was very sporadic. You had like San Diego, right? And then a few other places. Nobody knew about NTC or Army or even that much Marines. So before 9/11, it was like, it was no holds barred. Finding a girl, keeping a respectable girl was a whole different story. So I found a girlfriend. I tried to keep it within the branches of the military, but even the military, I got wifed up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because look, the men to women ratio out there is not in favor of men. So when you find a decent woman, you're like, wife.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, no, but hey, I gotta give it to you. You did a lot because I would have to go at least an hour and a half, or more to get to an actual city with a city girl.
Man, let me tell you something. I spend a lot of time in those days because at NTC it was a very unique setup before 9/11. It was 2 weeks of us doing field issues with National Guard or active duty. And then once that was over, it was followed up with a 4 day, a 3 day, and then a weekend before the next time we were in the field. So I spent a lot of time in Las Vegas and I spent a lot of time in Los Angeles. I met a female in Las Vegas and we were dating. Her dad was rich. He was a manager or an assistant manager at a major casino, and she wanted to be with me. And I broke up with her to be with another army girl. And yeah, no, she's not here now. So could have stayed with the rich girl.
Hey, all right. So give me your opinion here. Give me your honest. Are you calling yourself a gold digger? Are you admitting?
No, no, what I'm saying is if I had known better and I knew that instead of looking for love, I should have looked for love. And, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, look, some women are into you as a person so much that they're willing to look past that. Maybe you work at 7-Eleven or you're in the service in the 90s making 350, 370, $400 a paycheck. They're like, I don't care. I think you're great. I want to be with you. And you're like, silly dude, I can't be with you. I got to be with another soldier who's just as broke as I am because love exists, right? I wasn't as self aware as most of these young kids are nowadays. We were naive. The world was a different place. So, yeah, I mean, not a gold digger, but if I meet a physician or something, I mean, look, I can't begin to. I'll tell her straight up. I'll be like, "Oh, you like me?" I'd be like, "Let me marry you, and if you're making that quan or whatever, and you take care of me, I will. I will listen. I will go down on you every single night. Okay, I will do the dishes. You have a bad day, you come and slap me, but you keep my bank account thick. That's right." And you'd be like, "Eat my ass," and I will eat that ass because them with the gold makes the rules. I mean, I'm not no simp, dude. I got my limits. But if you got money, I'm not saying no either, my friend.
So that's your type. You're not saying no.
No, listen, I'm twice divorced. I I was by myself for 2 years and I met a girl from Rhode Island. And those northern girls are a whole different breed of female, you know. And I care for her, but she's a she's a she's a habitual line pusher. I'm not used to such a mouthy female. So I have my limits. You know what I mean?
Mm.
My limits. I don't mind if you get animated with me, but you talk to me all night. I'm so old at this point, man. I'm just happy that I'm alive. I don't need you adding stress into my daily life, broski. I got a hairless cat. Thank God he's asleep right now. He is more than enough affection. I'm good, dude. I can
Gotcha.
be alone at this point. I don't need the BS. So, but I mean, if I met a girl with the money, even if she was a military girl, I mean, we get married for sure. I'm gonna tell you everything you want to hear, and then I'm gonna propose to you so fast you're not even gonna know what happened. And then if you want to divorce me, I'm gonna be like, "Your Honor, he hit me in my," and I got PTSD. That's abuse. Get her. Ow. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I'm
Oh
so,
shit, bro! I love your sense of humor. God,
listen. I'm
you
a very dark sense of humor realist, man. I probably talk not enough but too much. But yeah, dude, I'm not a fool, dude. I know I don't have a lot to offer, but I'll treat you right if you got that quash.
all right, all right, okay. So after your selection of job in MOS, tell me how basic training went for you. How was boot camp, and where did you go? Was it Benning in Georgia?
So no, I actually went to. I was supposed to go, I think, to Kentucky, but they were full, believe it or not, at the time. So I ended up going to Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay, I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, Kentucky is a no female basic training because it's like artillery or something. So my entire class at Sill was men. It wasn't co-ed at all, which was wonderful.
Hmm. Gotcha. Gotcha.
No offense to the females.
Let me tell you a little quick story about that. Because I
Please.
actually I went through Marine Parasailing boot camp, which is
Right.
where they do send the females, right? They do send the
Hmm.
females there, but we rarely
But you
ever
can't
see
even
them.
look at them.
Yeah, we you rarely ever see. And I'm gonna I'm gonna be real with you, right? We haven't seen an American woman in a while,
Mhm.
but then you do see one again, but they happen to be like in the woods, dirty, smelling,
Who
cussing,
cares,
burping,
right?
farting, dipping. It's
Oh, gross. Yes, but still, you're like, I don't care.
it's like
Am I wrong? You're like, man, she
yeah,
looks good.
you're like yeah,
She's the
you're a
less
different
dirty out of
breed.
all of them. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're right, man. You're right. But I'm sorry. The quickest part though, right? The female drill instructors, they go all out of their way to never call the female recruits the B word. And I understand that. I get that. But as soon as a male recruit like myself comes along, they're all in my face like, bitch, what you say to this? Bitch, you better answer me right. And I'm like, oh shit, for real?
It's like you're all the bitches, right? You're all the bitches. Oh my god, dude. Good lord, dude. There's projecting and then there's that, you know? Good Christ, bro. I would lose my
Yeah,
mind. I would lose my mind. I
yeah,
just
it's
because look, I don't listen, when I was a kid I would have taken it, but as an adult and I think back, especially after what the war did to me mentally, like it would break me mentally if I didn't say something to her. Be like, I hear you screaming, drill instructor, but there's a kitchen. Like, wait, no. I would be done. I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it.
right on.
Especially if you called me bitch. Are you serious?
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah, yeah. And like I said, it's a female drill instructor, so you like,
Christ on a
okay.
cracker,
But
man.
at the same time, I'm gonna give them some credit. They are all trained to whoop ass.
Oh, I've
Man,
seen
woman,
him in
whatever.
action, and
They all
I've
have
seen him in
great hand to
action.
hand. All right.
Yeah. I've been sucker punched by a female Marine. And you normally, when your friends hit you, you're like, yeah, that's, and she hit me. And I was like, damn, dude, that's not cool, bro. Like, yeah. I was like, you're a man, dude. Don't hit me again.
They say that a lot
Brutal.
about a lot of marine females, man.
Yeah, I was trying to hit on her, and I don't know if she was showing affection back, but I was like, don't do that, dude. That's, wow, you hurt me, bro. Too much. Like, if I hook up with a Marine, how's that gonna work? Are you gonna do me? Like, I don't want to get beat up in this scenario. Like, maybe a little bit, but Christ, dude, let me lead.
You want to leave?
A
I
little
got
bit. I don't want to be
you. As long as she don't
emasculated by a
leave.
female Marine. I know they're no joke, man. I know they can fight, bro. I'm not trying to play that game. That's all I need is to like buck up on like a former female who's like a Marine. And I'm like, girl, what do you? And then the next thing I know, I'm like waking up on the floor. I'm like, what happened? She's like, crazy. You hit your head. And I'm like, yeah, I did. I know better, man.
That's what's up, man. That's just all right. I'm gonna cross one last phase that I think a guy like you would understand and probably laugh at too. Back with the M16s, you remember those, right?
Heck
You
yeah.
remember the buffers inside the M16?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I happen to be close to a drill instructor, right? A Marine drill instructor. And he they would let me know basically that at night, every night when they lock up their rifles, they also have to collect the buffers from all the girls because they use the buffers, to please themselves when obviously you're at boot camp for 3 months and you're not supposed to get that kind of male activity.
Listen, man, that is some friggin' that's fucking prison activity right there. Cause you
You
let
ever
me
heard
get
of
this
that?
straight. For no, for okay. Oh my god. Okay, I got out of the service in '07, and in 2008, I got hired as a corrections officer, and I did a little bit of cross training at a female corrections facility. I know what goes down, and I know what they're capable of. I expect that there, right? I do not. My friend, you are in 90 days, man. Touch yourself. You're gonna put a buffer inside. My cuz I've never heard of that a day of my life. It never It has never dawned on me that that could double up. I'm like, damn, man, your life is fucked up. That was an option. That was an option.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's not corrections, but if you're in
But that's my
military
thing. Do
boot
you not?
camp,
You're in prison for a couple of years. I get it. You're in basic training for 90 days. I don't get it. I don't get it. All thing, man. I hope you got a rubber glove dude. I hope you got some dude. Listen, I've never heard of that. If you're doing, Jesus can't help you at this point. It's over
I'm
for you, bro.
I'm gonna venture to
Wow,
say that even current times, M4s, etc., the newer rifles and whatnot, they still got a buffer, man,
dude. You cannot
which
escape
means
the buffer, my friend.
it's still happening in the Marines with female boot camp. They collect
Yo, could you
buffers
imagine the
every night.
buffer? Could you imagine the buffer if there was a female Barrett sniper? Those are big rifles. Yo, no, that's why the answer is no.
What the
Dude, you
fuck
have
you
really
trying to
opened
do?
my
Give them a
eyes today.
hysterectomy?
That's on them, man. I'm not a porn taker inner. I don't really use that stuff, but I, as a joke, I've been with people. I've seen what they sell at them places before. I walked into one time thinking it was a place that sold bowls. I was up north. I thought it was like a head shop. And I walked in, it was wall to wall dildos. I was like, this is not the droid I'm looking for, bro. I'm not looking for this kind of fun tonight. But they had like fist like rub. I was like, yeah, I've got to go, man. It's too much. But you're putting the man's to shame, dude. And if you're putting that inside of
Ooh.
you again, Jesus cannot help you, dude. I just can't with these fucking females. It's like, dude, I get the size queen, but geez, chill out.
It's just a normal metal part of a gun, but yeah. Let me stop. All right.
Listen to me.
Continuing on.
Before you said that, I listen. I before you said that, I'm being real with you. That has never ever crossed my mind as being something that was even an option. Where are you at upstairs, bro? You definitely need to be. If you're a chick and you're putting buffer springs inside of you, you need to be infantry. I bet you're covering into the space everywhere you go too. If you date a girl and she backs in, men run, run. She is the man.
Oh
Mm-mm.
God.
Man, you're blowing me away today, bro. That is amazing. Why am I
You
not
blew me
surprised?
away
I'm
too.
so I'm so surprised, but I'm not. Like I just Christ on a cracker, you have blown me away with that one. Why did that never cross my mind? And that would be like you telling me that there's a string of male soldiers who put firing pins up their pee hole. I'd be just as amazed at that. Be like, what? Where did you come up with that? Like, I don't. I'm so sorry to keep going on about this, but you have really thrown me for a loop because, good Christ, where are you guys' heads at? All right, I'm done. I'm so. Whatever happened to the good old days where you just tried to seduce your drill sergeant or some shit? Now you're having sex with your buffer springs and oh my god, what are you doing when you hit the fleet, bro?
Oh shit, you don't need it. You go for the real.
No, because at what point? What if you had sex with this chick, right? And she's like, "Hey, man, I gotta talk to you. I love you. I've had this on me for a long time. I'm the reason Marine females can't have their buffer springs at night." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "I got caught banging myself with a buffer spring." I'm like, "Listen, get your shit and get the fuck out of my spot right now. I love you, but you gotta go, cuz." I don't care if you still gotta go. Married, you can take the ring with you. It's yours. Use it to get yourself a new apartment, but you gotta go. I don't. If you're like, yo, I masturbated with my fingers in basic, normal. It's 3 months. Put my buffer spring in me. Get the fuck out of my house, bro. Get out. Sorry, I'm done.
Hey, if they admitted that to you, you tell them get the fuck out. Hey, say that again. Say that again. If they
Get the fuck
admitted to
out.
you later on
Yeah,
that they
dude.
used the buffer, the police, you tell them get the
Dude,
fuck
I'll yell at your ass too. I will yell at your fucking ass, dude. I'm telling you. And everybody will know. I'll tell everybody on your way out my fucking apartment. I'll be like, hey, everybody, he fucks. Nobody's gonna know what the fuck a buffer is, but I'm gonna say it.
say a
I'm
metal
telling
piece from a
everybody.
gun, a long metal piece from a gun.
It's ribbed on one end, but it's flat on that side. You crazy motherfucker! What are you doing? Good
Oh
lord, on a
shit.
my god, dude.
A lot of vets are going crazy laughing over this one, man. Because yeah, we hit that dark humor that only we can understand, man. Shit.
Listen, in the '90s, even at a remote place like NTC, which is 30 mile. Wait, no, was it? I'm gonna say it's at least 15 miles from base to even just the main interstate. Let's just say of main desert. Even before 9/11, there were girls that ran around the barracks back in those days, like bing, 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 all the way out the door. So yeah, like nothing surprises me, but that you definitely got me on that one. And I thought
All
I
right,
heard it
let's
all, dude. I thought I heard it all. Sorry.
yeah, it's like you said, in the Marine boot camp community, it's if you know, you know.
Mm, good night, man. I've never heard that. And that's a thing, right? So do they still do that even now? Do they still collect buffer springs from girls?
That's what I was saying. Yes, even with the current M4s and all the new current weapons, as long
Isn't
as
the new
there's a
one like that
motherfucking
big?
buffer.
Isn't it only like that big though on the newer ones?
Technically, but I don't want to get into that.
Okay, man. I don't know what you're at. Oh my good Christ. All right, cool, man. Enjoy yourself.
Now,
Oh gosh.
if you don't, let's continue on and talk to us about you heading into Iraq.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, I'll just give you a quick back. So I joined the military in 1999, right? I was waiting for my younger brother to graduate and everything. So I did 3 years in from '99 to '02, and then I took a little hiatus, and we invaded Iraq. So when I heard that we were going to push Iraq, I immediately called a friend of mine and asked him to enlist me on active duty with the next unit that was slated to deploy to Iraq. So when it came to Iraq, I went looking for that problem. I felt like if I was fit to serve, then I should be deploying with the other men who are fit to serve, and there should be no excuse that I'm not getting ready to deploy. So I went to my recruiter, I told him to find me, and they were like, brag, dude. And so that's where I went. And then, I mean, I got scared before I left, but I mean, it was very, very early in the war. So, I mean, it's to be expected because then it was a little bit of a guessing game. So I was scared, but I was excited. I was really looking forward to some performing some murder on behalf of the United States. I said that out loud. My bad. I was looking forward to serving my country in Iraq.
Yeah, only the war veterans can understand where you coming from, bro. But let us know when you decided to jump back in to go to Iraq. How old were you then?
So I was in my mid 20s to late 20s to early 30s. I think I was in my late 20s. And I remember I had gotten out of the service before, and I was food service. So I had landed a job as a manager at a buffet steakhouse. I'm not going to name their name because I don't want to give them any publicity. And I went home one night after like a very long, like 14 or 15-hour day. And I see that the army is making its push from Kuwait into Iraq. And I see that our men are having some resistance making that push. A few, um, a few people are getting wily. They're tossing grenades in at our guys, blowing their eardrums out. And I remember looking at my wife at the time, and I was like, this can't happen. I was like, we're gonna dip. I'm gonna reenlist. And and she was pretty resistant at the time. And I told her, I was like, look, man, I was like, I'm working a lot of hours. I'm unhappy. I was like, there was a reason I joined the military in the first place, and this is kind of the reason why I enlisted to begin with. I didn't join the army to get college money because I got no money. I didn't even take a bonus. I just wanted to be in the service. So when this opportunity came around, I was like, I'll be damned if I'm gonna miss it. So the next slated to go was Germany, but my ex-wife refused to go overseas with me. She's like, I'm not gonna be broke in Germany like I am in the US. And I'm like, yeah, but we'll be in Germany and they got better beer. So we 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 ended up going to Bragg instead, which I was like biggest mistake because like her parents were within reach of us. But I told them I was like, I need to go now, friggin' right now. I was like, we are pushing Kuwait, and I need to be there. I was like, I'm not meaning to come back to the states. Um, and because she didn't want to go to Germany, I had to go to Bragg, and they were slated to go the following February. This was in the summer. They were next on the list to go to I guess in those days it was Camp Victory, and that's where I went. She wanted to be close to her parents. I accommodated. That's kind of how it happened, or else I would have deployed with Germany in the end of OIF 1 into OIF 2, which I regret not doing because I missed Fallujah by a few months. You know, a lot of people died. Anyways, whatever. That's kind of how it went down. You know, I'm not regretful. I got to deploy with an amazing unit with a lot of amazing people, some of which I still am very close to. I still speak to them. So yeah, dude, that's how that worked out. I wish I'd never gotten out. If I had known, I would have just stayed my butt in. Just or for because I lost touch with some people and I fear the worst. Even after all these years, almost 20 solid years, like still can't find this cat. And I'm like, where did you go? You know, I've looked for him too. He's got a very rare name. It's like crap, dude. So I hope he made it, but Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you
Oh
hear
man,
me?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I literally
Um,
none of that was. Yeah, I couldn't. I thought it was me. I switched headphones and everything. I don't know.
no, I wasn't you. That was me, bro. I'm sorry, that was me. Um, yeah, I wanted to mention though, man, that most people don't know or get that with us. It's not that normal coworker scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
With us, our buddies are all across the world. Our guys are spread across the country and across
yeah.
the world. So being able to reach, relate, connect is sometimes very difficult for those of us, in this line of work.
You know, I think if you remember, I don't know how old you are, but if you remember, the news media was very candid with the things that they were showing back in those days. And
Hmm.
as somebody that's a little bit older than a lot of people that served later on in the war, it was a long war. I remember them showing crazy footage of people getting messed up really bad, and I can't let that stand. You
Yeah.
cannot hurt my fellow. It's all fun and game, dude. It's like Canadians winning like the World Series, dude. It's all fun and games till somebody else, and now we got to draw the line, man. Like I can't have you hurt my fellow countrymen. I don't care who they are.
Got
I'm
you on
sure
that.
people understand.
Got you on that, bro. How what eventually got you to the point where you decided, okay, I've served my country, I've sacrificed, I'm ready for any type of new chapter or new future?
Um, there was a crossroads that I came on um, with a military doctor actually at Fort Bragg. I remember I had this backache and it lasted about 3.5, 4 weeks. Um, and I just remember the doctor was like, "Yeah, man, you've got like arthritis and some other stuff going on with your back." And he was like, "What do you want to do?" And I just kind of thought back to like just kind of how the military classified my month to month performance. Even though I was an NCO, I felt like I felt like what I did didn't really matter anymore. I felt like they weren't really focused on our satisfaction. They were handing out NCO rank like it was going out of style. I know a dude that deployed with me, and when I saw him 2 years later, it was an E7. I was still an E5, but they
What?
stopped care. I cannot make this up. I would not make this up. Like he served in so much combat, he made it to E7. Like it was 2 years. I just remember being like, "Oh look, you're E7. You're E7." I was like, "What in the world did you do?" And he's just told me he was like infantry units, constant combat, constant deployments. I was like, "That's crazy, man." I was like, "I remember when you were." Anyways, so I just felt like at that time at Fort Bragg and with the military, they didn't really care. The one that seemed to care was the doctor, and he was so arrogant. He was like, I don't think that you should get out because I worry about your employability, but you know, I'm not going to let you change your MOS from food service, which is, if anybody knows what a dining facility looks like, it's not user friendly per se, at least not on the back. But like his inability to work with me and then be like, "Well, you won't be able to get a job in the real world," which to an extent he's been right, but um, it would have been better than them continuing to hold me to. Because listen, at some point with the way the war was progressing. I remember I was on in OIF 3. It went for a long time. It was just a matter of time before they put me out. for my inability to be able to deploy anymore. So I took the easy way out. I was like, you know what? You're offering me a medical. I'll take the medical. Oh, it comes with a severance. Don't mind if I do. And that was that. That was that. I, I'm
Okay.
sad, but I'm also satisfied.
Gotcha. 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 This, some would say that falls into the realm of being content. What do you say?
I'm not content, dude.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I assume that content comes with some form of complacency or an indication that you've made it. I haven't made it, brother. Not even remotely close. I'll be
Okay.
50 in 16 days, and I'm still figuring the crap out. And my shit's what? What do they say? After 50, you got 20, 25 good years if you're lucky. So let's hope that in the next 20 years, I figure it out. Maybe I'll get 5 years of being what I really want to be. Astronaut, cowboy, farmer. I don't know, dude. I live alone. I can't complain, but I'm not content. If I was content, I'd be successful. You'd be at my house. We'd be on the coast right now having this interview in the water on my boat.
All right. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Um, to wrap things up, let's talk about your transition from the military to civilian life and how good or bad that got.
Oh, it sucked. All the worst things in my life happened when I transitioned out of the service. Crazy, crazy. I don't, I'm not really, I mean, it's been so many years. I'm not really bitter anymore, but I don't want to obviously take up too much of your time. I told you when we were talking, I'm a pretty long-winded dude,
Hey, we
but
got
like,
all day, so you keep going, bro. This is the one place for vets to talk.
I got out of the military in 2007. A lot of people are like, shit, I wasn't even born until 2010. It's like, who are you telling? I know. Um, or younger, or they were a very young child or whatever. You know, I got out after all of that. I got out on disability and everything because I was very jacked up from being in airborne units, and deployments and everything. But when I got out, I worked at the White House for a little bit, and then I ended up working at a prison. And my ex-wife, she left me for a younger dude, and then I got kicked out of their house because I was living with her and her parents at her parents' house, and then they kicked me out. So then I'm trying to maintain a relationship with my children, and then I got alienated from my kids, and they ran me through the court so heavy with so many crazy accusations that from 2013 until even now, I don't have a relationship with them because of the things that were said about me by my both in-laws and ex-wife. They really, really poisoned the pond on that one. Um, but my transition was early, and so like things like the IAVA and the Wounded Warriors were just coming out, and in those days they didn't really offer much in the way of housing support or financial support or what to do if you found yourself facing real homelessness. That was I went from being married and living in a home to renting rooms here in the greater DC area. Um, and I rented rooms for like 7 years trying to get my crap together, trying to figure it out. And I came to the realization that I think most vets know that, like, honestly, even after the beginning of the war, man, it was like the moon landing. They stopped giving a shit, and there is no. I my one piece of advice is just remember that nobody owes you anything, and they're definitely not going to help you. So it's always up to you to make sure that you seize every opportunity, and keep that work ethic that you had. You know, it, it- it's my dad wasn't really involved, like raised me. He was there, but he didn't raise me. So the military raised me. So I learned to be a man through the service and through my service to country, and even through being immature, and I'm sure we all are. You gain friends that'll stand by you no matter what. And those are the people that you really lean on when bananas shit like that happens, when people accuse you of the worst things that they can muster in their head, knowing it's not true. It's a learning curve, but I did it all on my own. So if if you're asking me, is life good now compared to then? Life is exponentially better now that I'm grown up and I've learned, you know. But at the same time, and I wouldn't trade it out for anything either. We weren't as aware in those days in '07 and '06 when I came back from the desert. We weren't as aware of what people actually were going through. Just even now, as a guy who got out in '07, just 2 weeks ago, no, I take that back. 1 week ago, I had an appointment to get my lungs looked out from burn pit exposure. Even with picture proof, it's taken me from 2007 until 2025 to get treated for burn pit exposure and not be called a liar. So, I mean, it's been a challenge.
Fuck
I've
that.
taught myself a lot, but I'm not
Straight
jaded.
up.
I'm not bitter.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
dude. Yeah, dude. You know what? Hey, listen, man. I, I stayed away from the VA for many years. I had private insurance because of that very stuff. But at some point, you have to you when you end up spending 100, 200, $300 in copay with a private insurer. I mean, of course, that fool's going to tell you what you want to hear, and he's going to write what you want to hear. But at some point, the United States has to take responsibility for your overall health. You know, my voice doesn't sound like this for no goddamn reason. Some days I can barely talk. I don't. Some days I lose my voice altogether. I sound like a nutless monkey. Other days I sound like sandpaper with vocal cords. Today's not a bad day, but this isn't my voice. My voice is much deeper. But all that exposure, coughing, sleeping like shit, snoring, things that didn't exist prior, you know. It's so yeah, I mean the shit's been hard, man, but again, I don't think people like me, or maybe a lot of us who served in the military, I don't think that we're quitters. And I think, like, you know, a lot of us don't look for the proper help, but it's time these people pay, man. It's time for them. I can't tell you how many death threats and go kill yourselves I've gotten just on Instagram from random incels who just hate me for being an American soldier. So, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, I
Shit.
don't ask
I
for
gotta
much. Go ahead, brother.
go. Oh, it's not big. I was just gonna tell you, man, I got probably at least 500 Arabic Muslim people on Instagram blocked because of threats and shit like what you're talking about. At least 500.
I'm half. I mean, by technicality, I mean I'm half Jewish, but I'm always 100% American. I've got that crap tattooed down my arm. I am about this country, but when they find out that I'm Jewish, they automatically assume that I don't even know what a Zionist is. That's somebody that believes that Israel exists. So then they're like, "Oh, well, you're a vet and you're a Jew. Absolutely kill yourself, or I'm coming for you." It's like, Yeah, man. Whatever, dude. Like, have fun with all of that nonsense. I'm not paying it no mind. I do the same as you. I block them, but you know, that doesn't do anything for your mental health well-being either. Just to know that even if it's a troll account, it's like, damn, dude, that is really harsh on the mentality. Like,
Mm,
even a stranger in a
mm,
pub is like encouraging you to kill yourself. It's like, is that what we become as a society? Suicide encouragement? Like, seriously? It's a sad spot to be, man.
right, right.
But what if somebody took
Go
that crap
ahead.
seriously? I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, bro.
No, I was just saying, what if somebody took it seriously? Some people are
Yeah,
impressionable, man.
right,
Yeah,
right.
dude. Go ahead, though. I didn't mean to
Let
cut you off. I
everyone.
apologize.
No, you good, bro. Let everyone know where they can find you online or on social media.
So I am um, the real Slim J Dizzle on Instagram. On Facebook, it's just Jay Weitzman, which is right down here at the bottom of the screen under me. And I don't know if I have a X account at the current time. I don't really mess with that. I really just I'm active on Instagram, standing up. I try to post a lot of funny stuff on Instagram. I try to post stuff to make you laugh, even if it's dark humor. Follow me if you want to. I'm nobody important, but if you ever need somebody to talk to, or you're feeling bad or sad, absolutely hit me up on Instagram. We are all we have.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to bring you on the show, bro. Um, Make sure that I have your Instagram handle correct on the screen so everyone can find you.
You absolutely got it right, sir.
All right, all right. Um, well, this has been a great episode, man. Do you have any final or encouraging words you'd like to pass on?
First of all, I want to really thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your podcast and taking up your time. I really appreciate you. And you know, for anybody that's struggling, I the only thing that I can tell you is that, like, I've been there. I come from the old school. I've slept in a homeless shelter before. It's not easy. Sometimes we find ourselves in bad spots. And if you don't have a good support circle, find one. Even if it's another veteran, even if you need to reach out to strangers, man, find yourself a good support circle, because I'm going to be honest with you, being a lone wolf is only going to get you but so far. I know this for a fact. Um, I find strength in community. It's a silly thing for me to say, but I think those of us that know, we understand, like, only we understand each other in that aspect. So, I just say to you guys, don't take the easy left, man. Make that hard right. If you need somebody, if you need something, please say something, dude. You're needed and you're wanted no matter what you think. I cannot stand the thought of other soldiers, sailors, Marine, Coast Guard, anybody suffering in silence. It breaks my heart. That's all I
Right.
got to say, man. I'm sorry.
No, I never apologize for true words like that, bro. Um, as I said, this is why I wanted to get you on the show, man. I knew I could see it. I could see it off your Instagram bio. This guy has a story. I don't know why. I don't know what it was that hit me about you, but it was like
Because you're
I
awesome,
think
dude. It's
I
because
need to
you're
talk to that
awesome.
guy.
I
I
super
appreciate that.
appreciate you, dude. I really do. I really do. I really do. I,
All right.
I say those things because literally nobody was there for me for a very long time, and so I know what it's like to suffer in silence. No, no man. Let alone a man who's got trauma should have to suffer in silence, my man. Nobody.
Damn right. Damn right. Okay. We really appreciate. Excuse me. I really appreciate you coming on the show, ladies and gentlemen. This has been episode 134 of the WarDawg Trail podcast with the one, the only Army Iraq veteran Jay Weitzman, also known in the social media world as the real Slim J Dizzle. Hey, this has been a great episode. And thank you for coming on the show, boss.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you so much.
All right, same here. And if you don't mind, man, definitely gonna have you back on to continue, bro, because you got
Anytime,
wisdom
my
that people
man.
need to hear.
I have a lot to say. One day we can get into it as much as you want. It's your pony. I'm just here to ride on the back a little bit.
All right, bro,
But
that's what's up.
I think I've got wisdom to drop on your followers if they're up for listening. If not, I shut my stupid ass up.
Hey, you know what? I said the same thing when I started doing this. I was like, well, if none of the 11, 1,200 guys in my Marine infantry battalion never told me to shut the hell up yet, then I guess I just keep going.
I mean, people have said me, but it's usually more like, dude, shut the hell up. Like, you're, anyways, awesome, man. I super appreciate you, dude.
All right, bro. You have a good one now. Take care.
You too,
Salute.
sir. Be well.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, brought you a heavy hitter, episode 134. Salute.
Watch you stay fast, always me. Keeping your voices down and screaming to be free. You know,